Um, so I'm off to kind of a late start. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm off to kind of a weird start too. I'm thinking I'm gonna switch it over to screen cam pretty promptly because I yeah. Oh, the stream went down weird last night. Like it ended it very abruptly because I was trying to wrap up. I was wrestling with a bug, like an annoying bug too. Like one of those like I don't think this is my fault sort of bugs. Um, I still don't think it's my fault. It's like anyways, uh, and yeah, I never like I didn't even bother to bring the stream back up in order to say goodbye because it was like oh yeah, so the internet cut out and the stream went down and I didn't even bother to bring the stream back up. I up till this point like literally all the dev on the project has been done like on live on stream, and I'm switching over to screen cam because um, I changed the formula last night. Last night this was we were raising what was it? We were taking this division. We were dividing growth list by max growth bonus. By here, I'll do a dramatic reenactment of the change that I made last night. What was it? It was yeah. Okay, so instead of just adding one and dividing by two, we were doing math dot pow. Actually, you know what? I could even give one more shot at trying to fix the silliness here. Maybe. Maybe. Uh, yeah. I'll give it one more shot even, because why not? I'm feeling generous with with something that's pretty clearly seems to be pretty clearly defective. We were getting super cool math, like saying that like the square root of 3 divided by 12 is 0. Yeah, totally. Totally math. Good job, math. Uh, for those of you at home, you might recall that that's not how math works. Uh, excuse me. All right, so yeah, let's give it one more shot. So instead of adding one and dividing by two. Hey, is there Maverick? How's it going? $56 on Amazon. Sorry, hold on. My other monitor is slightly tilted. I'm just gonna tilt it over so I can read chat more easily. $56 on Amazon. That's a really good question. Well, I guess the obvious the go-to for me would be like what new games don't you have? I think that's what I tend to spend most of my I think that's what I tend to. Oh, oh, that is awesome. um, hold on, I'm gonna bring that up on the main screen if that's all right. Just because that is really awesome. Yesterday we were talking about illustration and Pokemans, and this is if I recognize I don't again this is one that I don't recall the name of, but I do believe I recognize this as a Pokemans. Uh, John Vizier Maverick. That is awesome. Well, yeah, I would go with video games. When I have like money, when I have like gift cards that feel like free money, I just buy like games that I wouldn't normally buy. Fennekin. Yeah, that was from like I think that was from one of the installments. Was that from like Black or White? Because I don't think I ever played that installment. Or maybe even what was the generation that came like directly after like Sapphire Ruby? I think. Hey, Caps Island, welcome. Uh, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So this math that we were doing. Oh. Huh. I might understand what was going wrong yesterday. And if I do understand correctly what was going wrong yesterday, then this should fix it, hypothetically. Maybe. Let's give it a shot. So this is basically what I was trying to do yesterday. The difference now is that oh yeah, that would totally explain it. Okay, so I think what was happening yesterday is that I was dividing, for example, 3 by 12, but I was dividing them as integers, which was coming out as 0, I think, is how integer division would work there. And maybe that's why I was saying like 0 to the square root of 0 is 0, because I think the square root of 0 is 0. So I think that might actually be a correct statement. Let's see if that fixes everything forever. Uh, so basically, when I start the script, oh, X and Y. Yeah, I don't think I played that one either. um, um, so, uh, you are one. Sarah Maverick, that's very enlightened of you. If the square root of you is you. Uh, Alright, I'm going to run the script. This is still at the accelerated distribution of passive points, so I'm not going to run it for very long. I'm just going to run it because in 60 seconds we should get Trusty Bard correctly now using the new math to present the like passive growth whatevers. I still don't have a name for them. In the format that we set up yesterday at the end of the stream. Fingers crossed. Yeah, so we did. So the reason I'm thinking that this probably is it, for one thing, integers tend to act that way, as I recall, and also the one situation wherein this was working yesterday was when we were rolling 20s and we were hitting the birthday, because 20 divided by 20 would be, even an integer division would still be a non-zero number. So let's see how this goes. Yeah, look at that. 3 adventures, each find a lucky clover. Alright, so I don't think I'm done with this per se, but it's certainly going better than it was before. So, alright, so this print that we have here, that's this one here. So it was, okay, so it's saying like it picked number 6 on the list of eligible players. I'm gonna let this run for a little while longer, so we'll see a few of these pop out, or like 1 per minute for a little while. It was saying that 4 people were eligible. No, it wasn't saying 4 people were eligible. It was saying it was worth 4 points out of a possible 20 points. And so it took 44%, or roughly 45% of the eligible players. And so it took 3 players, so apparently there were roughly like 6-ish players eligible. Yeah, alright, so that sounds about right. So the one thing I want to keep tabs on now is, yeah, just the average. I want to, so I don't really need to print this anymore. I'll leave this in here in case I need it for debug purposes or something. I'll just comment it out. Hey, Lasergon, how's it going? Welcome. Oh, wait, it's not capitalizing things correctly. 3 adventures, each find a lucky clover. Oh, interesting. So, that tells me that, the length of the, so when we split on interesting. Yeah, hold on, let me, alright, I'm actually gonna, no, I'll bring that down for now, so that way it'll be, when I make a change, it'll be, the script will have been down long enough so that, when I bring it back up, it, is ready to run again. Let me, yesterday I was like, split at start. I was just testing like what this does. And I assumed that, yeah, so before I was just, what I was doing yesterday with the script was just splitting at the very first character and seeing what the length of it would be. And if you split on the very first character, it does come out as length 2. See, it prints 2 as the length of how many lines there are. But I assumed that would mean that like it would be two lines, each of which, or like the first of which would be length 0, but for some reason it's not returning equals 0 as the length. So let's see what it actually thinks the length is. It does think the length is 0. And yet, oh, this is probably just a typo. No, not a typo. An inversion? No. See, we're checking if the say lines. Oh, right. we're, we're supposed to be checking not just the length of say lines, but the length of say lines index 0. Are we? Wait. Yeah. Yep. That's correct. Because say lines would always come up as length 2 because uh, it always had the special character that we were splitting on, and even if it didn't, it would have at least come up as 1. All right, so there we go. That fixes that. So then the other oh yeah, so the other thing is, yeah, I want to change say quote to not just so like whenever oh, okay, so right, I was thinking about this the other day. Whenever Trusty Bard starts an event, oh, I'm not listening to music. I was like, why does everything seem slightly more plain? I'm just gonna okay, don't mind me. Um, the yeah, so every time Trusty Bard starts an event, he says "hark," and that's also the way that a manual game master um, is can also like initiate an event. Excuse me. It's like literally the command. Like instead of like doing like exclamation point action or whatever as their like in order to initiate an event, they literally just say "hark." I want to do something similar for these lines because it's apart from the fact that he wasn't capitalizing things correctly, Trusty Bard. Uh, he also was just like not adding much fanfare. Like it was just like two adventures make a new friend. I don't know. So I think what I want to do is I want to find a funny word like "hark" that means that specifically indicates like oh, what good fortune or something to that effect. Like something you would say like when something good happens. Like I don't know. I didn't live in the times when people said things like "hark," so I don't know what that term will be exactly. But that I think will be my next order of business is to figure out. Oh yeah, that's funny. I guess Trusty Bard kind of plays it straight, right? I do most of the laughing myself. I guess because I do enough laughing myself, I figured I didn't need a bot to add anymore. Uh, um, so I think it's gonna be quick and pithy because it's also going to be what the GM will use to initiate these if the GM feels like initiating these. I still haven't figured out how the GM initiates these exactly. So maybe that's the next thing to do. Actually, let's bust open the backlog that I've been working on. So 3 adventures, that's what I'm working on currently. I guess like I know I eventually want to add like GM initiated passive bonuses. Maybe I'll call them passive bonuses. Uh, Maybe that's a good name. Uh, oh, cool. All right, that's a slightly easier way to add labels when I'm adding these things. Whoops, no, I didn't actually mean to do that. Okay, so I'll worry about that later. And one of the prerequisites for this one is to come up with that word that I'm about to come up with. So, oh, what's that word for? I don't even remember the word to describe the word. Archaic. We before we looked up archaic humorous words, and we were just because I really wanted to search the like I realized that when I searched like define hark, I realized that like the it was tagged with oh, maybe it was a different word. I was like it was tagged archaic and also humorous, and I really wanted to just like cross-reference the entire dictionary for all the entries that were flagged as both archaic and humorous, because that's really what I was hoping for. So yeah, basically the opposite of this, like a lack. Like if something bad ever happens, maybe Trusty Bard will preface that with a lack. But uh, no, we want kind of the opposite. So uh, hmm. I'm in screen cam, right? I didn't leave it in. Okay. I thought I might have accidentally left it in face cam. All right. Sorry, just checking. Uh, Maybe they just didn't get much good news back then. Maybe it was like a. Maybe it was just like a really depressing time. They had a lack to express sorrow or regret, but I'm not seeing anything too. Okay, so they do have a word for happiness. So they have an expression for disgust or disapproval. um, Come on. Maybe it's just a very alphabetically low expression for yes. Yeah, right. So Steeler, you're correct. When Trusty Bard says, for example, two adventurers make a new friend, it will uh, like right. I guess as soon as it's said, I mean, I could put in a small delay to give people. No, you know what? There will be a delay because there will be stream delay. Uh, so when Trusty Bard says that, in the very near future, the players will march across the screen because they actually like they even get queued up. So like if you don't just have to like wait around to wait to like the next time your character comes up. If your character was one of those characters, they'll get queued up and they'll march across the screen as soon as possible. Accounting for stream delay, and at that point it will say how much experience they gained for it. That is a true statement. Gardy Lou. Too bad that's not the. Too bad that's not the right word. Yeah. So this is hark, pay close attention, listen. So we use hark for the events because you actually do have to pay attention to events, or you might want to. It's in your interest to pay attention to events. Heyday. That's interesting. I don't know if that's quite right, but we can call that the backup plan. Heyday. Hist. That sounds like the evil version of hark. It's like hist. Like I don't know. For some reason, that sounds somehow wicked. It sounds snake-like. I think is what I'm picking up on. Okay, so they have a lot of ways to say regret, to express regret. Oh, surprise agreement. Marry. I guess. So our options right now are marry or heyday. I should start writing these down. So it would go here. It would go before the say lines part of say quote. So our options are so far are heyday or marry. Wait, where was I? Yar. Doop doop. Wait, hold on. Let's just look at the expressions. Because while the other words are interesting, it's the expressions that we're specifically interested in. So marry, expression of wish or request. Prithee. So that could be good if we ever need to ask the player a direct question. Like, actually, that could be good for, on my secret control panel, which is not running right now because the script's not running right now, I have a way that I can basically, like, open, I can ask a question, basically. And I guess that could be good for it. But I don't really need something for that right yet, so, oh yeah, because Trusty Bard never asks questions. That tool is only really used for when I'm asking a question. So yeah, a lot of surprise and contempt expressions. I guess those are the situations where you really need an expression. Like if something's like annoying or bad, yoicks. All right, so our options are heyday, marry, or yoicks. I don't know if I like yoicks. Wait, how is it spelled? CK. I don't know if I like yoinks, because it reminds me of yoinks, and it's not yoinks, and I feel a little disappointed. Whoops, I actually even typed yoinks. I think I would feel a little disappointed every time I saw yoinks, and it wasn't yoinks. Right? Yeah, exactly, like jinkies. But that's more of an expression of surprise than an expression of of good fortune. So I'm honestly thinking Mary, just because like heyday sounds a little weird. And not that Mary doesn't sound weird, but in the way that they both sound weird, I prefer the way that Mary sounds weird. Uh, uh, yeah, so I'm probably gonna go with that. Mary, exclamation point, space, plus say lines. Yoicks. So close, yoicks. So close. Runner up, silver medal. Uh, save that. I'm probably gonna change that because I'm probably gonna run the script now. I'm gonna see it and I'm gonna think to myself, no, no, actually not. But for now, we'll see how this goes. So in just a minute, actually, I guess it'll have been less than a minute because you'll have seen the text, you'll have seen the chat pop up before stream delay shows you me saying, not necessarily this, but me responding to the occurrence. Yay, stream delay. It's like really weird and inconvenient time travel. Uh, so, alright, I don't have a reason to think that that won't now work fine. So I can kind of call that done, sort of, except for the fact that I do want to see it working before I call it, like, done. For real. And then, yeah, so the next on the agenda after this, I believe, will be quest writing. That's like my big thing for you. Mary, a pretty bird smiles at 5 adventurers. All right, so that's like better, I guess, kind of. Apart from the fact that Mary is weird, there's at least like something there. It still feels a little bit, yeah. I think I'm gonna specify the amount of experience, just so it's not, just so there's no uncertainty, uh, about what the heck that is about. I guess. No, no, no. I took experience. No, I took references from I took out references to the experience value from the concluding messages in an event. Uh, um, so it'd be weird to put them in here, although I really want to. Uh, Whoa! Why didn't he say Mary? Why on earth did you not say Mary? There's no scenario where you skip this. Oh, yeah, there is. There totally is. These cases where yep. Oh, yeah, no, I totally skip it in all of these cases. So, right, I was just doing equals. I was hard setting it to equals, but, I'm going to do plus equals because, we now have something preceding it. All right, so now I have no reason to think that it won't be working correctly. So I'm going to actually shut it down. I'm going to put oh, I didn't put in that print. Okay, so I need to put in a print, and I need to set the speed back to, like, normal. What I want to keep track of is what is the average total of passive points per player. Because if that number starts creeping up, I'll need to tune the 0.5 in this exponentiation to get it to, like, I want to make sure that like I'll probably actually use that number ultimately to like change the formula, I guess. I don't know. I basically just want to make sure that like that these passive points aren't just like piling up and not getting cashed in, which is kind of what we were seeing before. So yes, no, for right now I'm just going to sorry, just getting distracted. For right now, I'm just going to print out the right. So when where is it that it happens? We tally up. Or yeah, right. So we check all the passive points per players because we have to check who's eligible. And so when we're doing that, I think we're just going to So we'll just say yeah. So just like so p count. Uh, or I'll call it like p. I don't know. I'll just name it something that like a name that I don't think I'm using other places. Equals. We'll say it equals 0 for starters, and then whenever we add actually, no, not just when we add someone to the eligible list. Whenever we add a, I mean, it's usually just when we add someone to the eligible list, or like that's the most important data. But I'm just gonna do it whenever. We're just gonna say pp count plus equals passive points, and then we'll just print that out. So print. Oh, well, actually, we'll print average passive equals plus what is it? It's going to be the string version of the float version of pp count divided by the length of player dictionary. Or should I just go? Maybe I should just do this for the eligible players, because the eligible player, like, yeah, no, I'm actually just gonna do it for the eligible players, and then but then okay, so I'll also have to also take account of the players themselves. So we'll start this at 0 as well, and we'll say actually no, we're putting together this list as such, so we don't actually need to keep track of the eligible player count. We can just use the length of the eligible players lists. So length of eligible list. Yep. And that'll give us a good idea of whether like, yeah, what's the rate of earn, what's the rate of expenditure. The difference between Python 2 and 3, why did I choose 2 over 3? I don't know exactly. I know there are syntactical differences or syntax differences that make it so that, like, if you try and run 3, if you write something in 2 and try and run it in 3, a lot of stuff will just be broken because they didn't, they basically just had to. There were some things that they couldn't like backwards support. Like they just couldn't maintain. They had to make like changes that would break old scripts. I'm not 100% certain what those changes are exactly. I chose 2 because at the time I started like on Python. 2 was a very proven entity, and 3 was still relatively new. And people I knew who used Python, most of them had been most familiar using 2, and because they were the people that I was learning from, I just, like, they were a font of advice on Python 2, and like at that point, no one was particularly enthusiastic about 3. Maybe that's changed. Like I first started learning Python a few years ago, so maybe 3 is like super great and everything's super great now. I don't. There's if there's something in 3 that I'm like totally missing out on and is like so much better than 2, I'm not aware of it. I've never. Yeah, I've found 2 to be entirely satisfactory, and so I've stuck with it thus far. Okay, cool. I can. Oh, I haven't changed the rate yet. I want to change the rate because it was happening every minute, but I think it's actually supposed to happen every, like, I think half hour was basically like the interval that I was thinking would be ideal, because I don't want these happening like constantly. They're supposed to only happen like every now and then, fairly infrequently, in fact. So yeah, let's give this another go. Script has been down for too long, frankly. All right, so that's probably good. That's probably all set. Tom, hey, welcome. I'm doing all right. Although I'm in for an interesting day. I've been kind of dragging my feet about this because I don't know. I guess I'm slow at writing texts or writing the text of events, and I want not to be as slow. So my goal is to add more events. I'm gonna call this done. I mean, I should probably wait until it's super done and like tested and everything. But if something breaks, I'll know what's gone wrong. So I'm gonna call that done for now. Uh, that happens, like the video desyncing. I don't know. I think I've been told if I like restart the camera, sometimes that helps. But I just like I don't know. I can turn off the camera, and then you won't notice that it's desynced. But those are like my options right now. So let me know. Yeah, so I want to add more passive bonuses and more events. GM initiated passive bonuses. I also need to figure this out. Specifically with the GM initiated passive bonuses, what I need to figure out most is the eligibility. Oh, huh. Yeah, no, ooh, huh. Yeah, right. Okay, because like with GM initiated passive bonuses, it's possible that no one could be eligible. So like what I could do in that situation is I could just make it so that if literally no one is eligible, one person gets like 1 point. Like you can have it so that the GM doesn't actually have to specify how much experience points are given. Like I could do it kind of the other way around. I could have it so that I could have it like work backwards. The GM could just say like one of these things are happening, and then the the system could then like poll, how many passive points do players have saved up. The GM takeover's done. I finished that last week. um, yeah, it's been done for a while. I think I mentioned it to you, but I think it was one of the days that you were working, and so you probably didn't hear it. Sorry. Yep, super done. Well, except that so yeah, like I was just saying, I haven't done the passive bonuses yet. Uh, so yeah, right now like the passive bonuses like they have specified point values based on essentially like how good they hypothetically are. So like if you find a lucky clover, it's worth like 3 points or 4 points or something like that. But if it's your birthday, that's worth like 20 points or I don't know. There's a scale. Because like there's no convenient way for the GM to check how many passive points people have. Yeah, so when the GM can now initiate. Well, like once I set this up, the GM will be able to. Hey, enjoy. You're welcome. How's it going? Um, Once the GM can like use once I set up the command, the GM can say like marry like and then whatever is the good thing that happens, and then the system I guess will oh huh. I guess the GM will probably want to get in the habit, like GMs, the way that the way a GM would want to phrase that, because like the GM can't specifically say the number of adventures, right? Because the system calculates the number of adventures. So I guess the system, that like the formulation there, I guess would be that like the GM would want to say like marry like some adventurers, like something ambiguous, like to indicate that. Well, what's a good way to indicate like one or many? A non-zero number of adventures. A positive integer representing some number of adventures. No, I guess some adventures is probably closest. Because like it'll usually be multiple adventures. In some cases, it might only be one adventure. And so in those cases, Trusty Bard, well, in all cases, Trusty Bard will affirm that the command was successfully input by saying like the GM. So the GM says like Mary, like some adventures like are really feeling it today. Good job, those adventurers or whatever. Just as an example, and then Trusty Bard will respond with something to the effect of like, indeed, like 4 adventurers or something. I don't think. 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 I I don't think Trusty Bard will be able to respond in a full sentence. Like, I mean, if I wanted to, I could try and like reformulate what the GM says into like. So like if the GM says like, "Mary, some adventurers like blah blah blah." Like I could try and have Trusty Bard say, "Indeed, like three adventurers blah blah blah." But depending on how the sentence is structured, that could turn out like a bit herky. I mean, I could try it, but then no, that'd probably not be worthwhile because then if the GM like typoed adventurers, then like it would mess up the parsing. So probably not gonna bother with that. So yeah, so yeah, Trusty Bard will probably just say like, indeed, like four adventurers were so fortunate, or like like luck shines on four adventurers or something like that. Or it shouldn't imply luck because like not all of these are like a birthday isn't lucky, right? Well, a birthday is pretty like you kind of know when a birthday's coming. It's not like July 31st. Oh, I'm so lucky today. It's my birthday. I don't know. All right, so maybe I will do this first. Not because I should do this first necessarily, but because well, maybe I should because I mean Zero was even asking about the GM stuff, so maybe I should like finish polishing the GM tools. Um, the No, I'm still dragging my feet on the events because I just it's it's not my favorite part. I guess I'll say. So hey, technically, Will, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Uh, so yeah, I should probably no, just I was gonna say I should make like a variable for Mary, so in case I change it, I can update the command and what the bard says at the same time. But I really don't anticipate to change it per se. Uh, Wait, no, yeah, I still want yeah, no, I do want to change it because like I think I think it's a bit too obscure. Like I think most people have heard hark enough to know like that it's at least a weird archaic word. But like Mary is like I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if that'll come across. It'll probably just seem weird that Trusty Bard's saying that, and I'm fine with that for now. But that is something that I'll want to change at some point. All right. So yeah, where's the part where we parse GM commands? I believe it happens somewhere in this vicinity. I thought. No, this is where no, it's further down. Because that's where we're handling. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So hark. All right. So we just add an else if. To here. Not event on. Yeah, we probably don't want to do these during events either. Actually, maybe it's not a big deal if. Uh, huh. Does it matter if this happens during an event? I feel like that would be weird. I'd rather it not happen that way. But is there any specific reason to avoid letting that happen? Nah, I don't. Yeah, no, I don't. I just don't want it to happen there. So I'm just gonna add this as like something that happens when the event is not on. So else if t split. So t split 3 is the first thing the GM says. So if the GM says hark, then that means we're initiating an event. So if the GM says Mary, and it all gets lowercase. It all gets sent to lowercase, which is why I'm checking it in lowercase. The agile process at Harmonix. Well, so when I started at Harmonix, like the process was like a little bit agile, and then like over time they actually like started adopting more and more agile practices. So I don't know. I find it interesting enough. A lot of it made sense, right? I think one of the nice things about the way they did it is that like they, they kind of like they like moved in a direction that like worked well. Like they didn't just like it wasn't just like one day it's like now we're agile, like everything different. Uh, and so like through a gradual shift like more towards more agile processes, like it worked fairly well. And so I was like I wasn't like leading the charge per se, but I I think like I yeah, so like for most of the time that I worked there, like the development was mostly quite agile. So uh, yeah, I was like it was a big part of my workday. Not necessarily because I chose it. It just that was how it was, and and like I use agile practices now. I mean, I'm very agile. I don't mean to brag, but I'm pretty agile myself. So yeah, clearly some of it stuck. Um, uh, oops, I put a colon here where I was not supposed to. So LFT split 3 equals Mary. This is where we will want to initiate one of our own whatevers. Uh, the tough thing about I don't know. I guess like waterfall seems like it would be cool hypothetically. Like there are things about it that like seem like it could be ideal, but like there are very specific requirements there. Like you have to be exactly right when you start, right? Like you have to know like you have to be working with people who like really know their stuff. I feel like in order to get it exactly right from the front, like right from the get-go. Because if you don't have that, if you don't have the capacity to make adjustments down the line, like good luck. I changed everything. Like I've changed what I'm doing on stream today since I started this stream, and I started this stream less than an hour ago. um, so yeah, I don't think I would do well in waterfall. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if I've ever worked in like waterfall proper. No, that's not true. I have, and actually, yeah. Sorry, I'm going to take back everything I just said. Actually, the process of making like character art and background art for this game is waterfall, because like I have established like what are the mechanisms by which this game uses character art and environment art, and so now the process of actually implementing that is waterfall. So yeah, I don't know. It's like a little waterfall extending from a much more agile basin of this metaphor is not going places. All right, so uh, so I guess what we'll do here is to yeah, I'll just basically redo everything here, like everything that we're doing down in that other location, because it's not super complicated. Like administering an event is way more complicated than this. This is like the only thing really complicated here, and like no, yeah, there's basically nothing complicated here, and the stuff, the one part that is like that could be like that involves like any real sense is basically inverted for the other method of doing it. So, oh yeah, I never really like when I was thinking through what to do if literally 0 players are eligible. I hadn't really thought about that. Oh yeah, okay, wait. So I'm thinking you could. Okay, yeah, right. Okay. So uh, I'm going to impose a a restriction on how frequently these can occur. Specifically, oh, actually, instead of imposing a instead of imposing a synthetic restriction, oh no, okay, you know what I could do is okay, uh, okay. I'll stop saying okay now. If the GM, like, it won't happen very often, but hypothetically, if the GM tried to initiate a one of these passive bonuses and no one was eligible, I think the like Trusty Bard, instead of saying like yes, this many adventurers or whatever, I think Trusty Bard will instead say something uh, like like something to imply that like what the GM said was not a fact of the current state of affairs, but rather like a prophecy or like an omen. And because basically what happens in that case is that that passive bonus can't happen like right now. But I could handle that in a few ways. Like I could literally just like, the trusty bard could imply that like, oh, are you speaking of the future or something? To just like, like resolve or indicate up front that like that actually didn't happen. Sorry, GM. Nice try. Again, this shouldn't happen very often. But what else? Yeah, I could. So that could be the end of it. It could literally be like trusty bard is like, are you speaking of the future? And like, then like, just basically the command is canceled. The other thing I could do is I could keep track of it, and then I could initiate it as soon as possible. So, do you have a preference, Zero Maverick? uh, like, I don't think so. Like hypothetically, if you like again, you can avoid this. A GM can avoid this altogether, by just simply waiting several minutes between passive bonuses. But hypothetically, like if I don't know, if a GM got a little too enthusiastic about it. So like yeah, so the way I have the passive bonuses scheduled right now, they only happen every half an hour. And so I'm adding it in so that GMs could initiate a passive bonus whenever they feel like it. However, if they're getting okay. So okay, yes. People in chat, Zero Maverick needs recommendations for things to buy on Amazon. I said like games, like whatever like relatively recent AAA game, or like but by that I mean expensive game has recently launched and you abstained from buying because you're like, I'll wait till the price comes down. Buy it now, because if you have a gift card that feels like free money, then like I don't know. That's how I treat myself. um, but yeah, Zero Maverick needs to figure that out. Okay, so yeah, okay, so passive bonuses right now are on like just the way the system automates them. Like they're roughly on a schedule of like one per half hour. They could actually happen a lot more frequently, but the more frequently they happen, the less valuable each of them are. Like for example, like right now they're worth at least 3 points. But if they were happening every like 5 minutes or so, they'd probably be worth at least like only 1 point each, right? So I mean hypothetically, as a GM, would like the most effective course of action would just be to wait. Don't do passive bonuses very often. Like save them and make them something special. Like when they happen. But in the case that I don't know, in the case that a GM like just really wants to give out a ton of them like all in a row, like it's really important for some reason to give them, and like so like if you cut it too close, like you could actually get to the situation where literally no one is eligible, and the passive bonus literally cannot occur. And so I'm just trying to think in that case, like, yeah, right. So do you have the thing I was wondering, like, do you have a preference whether like if the passive bonus literally just can't occur right now, do you have a preference whether it just gets canceled or whether it gets like deferred? Because like I could just cancel it and basically like Trusty Bard in that case would just say like no sorry, or I could just remember it and Trusty Bard could say something to the effect of like wait a moment, and then as soon as it's able to occur, then it could occur at that time. I don't know. I mean like it's a little gross either way. Because it's just a weird situation that doesn't have a clean resolution. Well, no, there's one other thing that I was considering, which was if you like hit an ineligible circumstance, like I could just like put someone in points debt. Like I could give 1 point to someone and like literally give them negative passive points because they haven't earned it yet, but they will hypothetically eventually. Hypothetically, which would be a little weird. But even then, I'd want to limit the frequency of those commands. So, Well, yeah, there still has to be a limit though, because like if the GM just like spams chat with these commands, then like that's like, well, I don't know, like the I mean, so here I'll level. If a GM tried to abuse this system, I would probably just ban them and never appoint them GM. I'm just trying to put in like what's the system that would be the most polite towards a GM who did this by accident, right? So, right. So, regardless. So yes, we've decided that there is a limit, right? So what we have to decide though, when that limit is hit, regardless of why that limit is hit, when that limit is hit, would you rather cancel the event or would you rather just wait until the event can occur and then have it occur later? So that's what I was trying to ask you about. But I'll just I'll just set up the main part first. I don't have to decide that yet. So ah okay. Yeah, so we do it backwards this time. Instead of uh instead of checking who is eligible, we figure out like what is the general eligibility. So we do loop over the players. So for p key in player dict dot keys, let's what do we want to do here? We want to get like I think we want to do that count thing. Uh, so like passive points count equals 0. For p key in player dict keys, we want to say player points count plus equals player dictionary player dictionary index p key dot passive. Hey, it's one time. Passive points. Um, uh, yeah. And then so I'll probably just go with the average, I guess. And if the average is like less than 1, we'll just go with 1. So like the average rounded up. Or no, the average. And then if the average is 0, but the like if the rounded average is 0, but the rounded average is 0, but the like it's not, but the PP count is not literally 0, then we'll go with 1 instead. So I guess like PP T sorry equals the float version, because integer division is for dumb people. Sorry, not literally, but okay. Float version of PP count divided by the length of player dictionary. All the current players. Right? Oh. Huh. This can't happen during an event. This can't happen during an event. Okay. So this is legit. I was just thinking like players can like leave if a player leaves during an event, they actually stay in the player dictionary until the end of the event, because if they had participated in the event before they left, they still get credit for it. And I was just thinking like, because there are those ghost people in the player dictionary, like are we going to accidentally include any of those? But I've already precluded having this occur to players during an event. I've already deactivated that. Oh hey, Black White Life, welcome. How's it going? Yes, simple question. What is the way to get better at programming? There is exactly one answer to that question, and it's to program. Fortunately, there are very many ways to go about that. Personally, I like tutorials. I like tutorials that involve like someone else setting up something, doesn't matter what, something that interests you hypothetically. Ideally, something that you find like not boring. And you you basically recreate what they've made, and in doing so, you'll begin to understand why they like what. So the thing you'll definitely understand is, because that's the content of the tutorial itself, is what decisions they made. And then as you do more and more of these, you'll start to understand or intuit, or maybe they'll even say, why did they make the decisions that they made. And so yeah, from that way, you'll kind of like build your programming vocabulary. So then when you have something that you want to build of your own, you'll have like a bigger repertoire of like what you can think of to do when like facing a certain challenge. Dev streams are a great way to to get that sort of information. But if you have like a very focused goal, like so the one thing I'll say about dev streams is that they're a bit more like amorphous. They're a bit more like you just kind of like jump in the middle of something, and like you can follow of course what's going on. But like the nice thing about, like, the one thing that you can get from tutorials, and when I say tutorials, I specifically mean like like something that was intended to be specifically a tutorial, not just like the extent to which like a dev stream is generally like tutorful. I don't, okay. Yeah, so like it's kind of like a silver bullet to a similar sort of topic. All right. Hey, I like. Okay, wait. Someone yesterday was saying like it's like I don't even remember. It was like I just don't know how to pronounce your name. It was like, hold on, wait. Maybe it's still in the chat log somewhere. It was like, hold on. I can do this. If we I'll just keep guessing until maybe someday I'll actually get it correct. Shergawi. I don't know the other. I know there's like it's not pronounced like a J. I know those J's aren't pronounced how I would pronounce a J, but I don't know how to pronounce those J's. So, but welcome. Sorry for mispronouncing your name, or not even pronouncing your name. Really, but I'm glad to see you again. All right. What was I typing? So the length of the player dictionary. This gives us our average. So if oops. Actually, no. I guess technically we don't even have to. We can just say if the passive points count equals 0. This is like the oops. This is like the oops. No, no go. Whatever. I'll figure that out later, I guess. But then, for now, I'll just start with the one that we that we do know how to process correctly. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. So share Agovi Uyits. Is that is that close? I'm sorry. Again. Was there a point where I felt like I wasn't good enough or smart enough? I'll let you know if there's ever a point where I feel like I am good enough or smart enough. There's a point where I stopped caring whether I felt like I was good enough or smart enough, because I realized that I'm never going to feel good enough or smart enough if I just like if I stop and do nothing. So this is me. What you see here is me trying to be good enough or smart enough someday, and my goal or my plan in order to accomplish that is to just make games and keep making games until I am good enough and smart enough. Or I'll take one. I don't even need both. I'll take one of those. Yeah. So the thing that we're kind of talking about in that is imposter syndrome, where like you think like, oh, other people can do this, but like for some reason I'm bad or wrong or like not real. Like I'm not authentic. I'm not the genuine article. And like as far as I can tell, like that's actually literally something everyone feels, and some people are just better at like pretending they don't feel that way. I don't know. But yeah, no, look up imposter syndrome because it's something that a lot of people, if not literally everyone, it's something that a lot of people feel, and it can be like the only real harm in it is that, well, for one thing, it feels horrible, but then also it can literally, like, if it stymies you, if it halts, if just feeling that way stops you from actually like accomplishing something, then it's like this awful self-fulfilling prophecy. So yeah, I just there's, I guess there's like a that fine line between like hubris and you know, because you don't want to like don't want to literally like get yourself in trouble or like cause some harm by like biting off more than you can chew, but uh, yeah, somewhere in the middle is what you'll want to uh, find, I guess, like something that challenges you, and something that you can do to feel like you are improving and to literally improve at what you're doing, but something that won't like completely crush you. That's what I strive for. So, for example, taking the points average, I totally know how to make a conditional based on the value of a float that we have calculated. So, for example, I'm going to set up a conditional for if pp average is less than 1, then actually, so all right, I'm gonna say I'm gonna add a new oh, I meant to take that one. I don't know how I feel about that one. The three adventures look sharp today. One I might take out because that one is a little bit rude. It used to be less rude, but now it's a little, because now it's just like it implies that like the others don't. I don't know. I might rewrite that one. I'll have to revisit that when I go and actually start doing more passive bonuses. I'll like, I don't know. At this point, it looks a little bit. For some reason, that one just sounds a little bit catty, the way it is now. Thank you, Life, and thank you for tuning in. Yeah, I enjoy answering questions, so please feel free to ask as many as you like. I don't always get so distracted. I did let myself get very distracted by that one, but it seemed like an important question to address. So, all right. So yeah, now at this point, so because we checked that the passive points count was at least 0, or like at least greater than 0, right? Because it starts at 0 and we only add to it. So if it's not 0, then it means it's greater than 0. And so now we can assume that now we can know, in fact, that the passive points. Oh, oh, oh. Right. Do we have to? Yeah, I think we have to flip over the player list twice, because first we have to flip over the player list to sum up the passive points to figure out what. Oh yeah. So right, the value here is I'll call it like G val, or I'll call it like growth value. This is going to be how much the event is worth. Oh yeah, actually, so okay, so we'll say it equals 1, and that's actually the case that PP average is less than 1. In the case, so now we don't even have to worry about that case, or when it's equal to 1, because if PP average is greater than 1, actually no, I guess we'll want to say greater than or equal to 1.5, because anything lower than 1.5 is going to either round to 1 or to 0. And if it rounds to 0, we want it to be 1. So we can just call all of those cases growth value equals 1. So the only cases that we actually have to change growth value is if the average is greater than 1.5, greater than or equal to 1.5, because at that point it can round to 2 or something higher as well. So we'll say growth val equals the integer version. Does it have to be integer? I guess it doesn't really have to. Or maybe it does. I don't know. Hey, Jonas, welcome. So the integer version of the rounded version of the average. Yes. And then and now we can just give it. We can just give it out. Or okay, no, actually, sorry. No, at this point now we have to do the eligible list thing. So actually, at this point, we can kind of borrow from that other place that we had written this sort of protocol, because we are going to do something fairly similar here. So, well, how similar is it really? Yeah, no, I guess it's pretty similar. So maybe I should generalize this so that I don't have to like write it twice. Yeah, how would I... So yeah, the difference is that previously we would be looking through the growth list to determine what GI will be. What's the point where we actually like land on GI? If the number of players is greater than or equal to 0. Or greater than 0. So this is basically what we need to cut out, because this is the success case. Sorry, just reading chat. Oh no! Oh! That is tough, Steeler. That is sending back a not being able to play games because you don't have a graphics card for a month while it gets well, they send you a good one. That is. I hope you have. I can recommend a lot of mobile games if you have a mobile device that you can play on. Because yikes, that's harsh. There's always card games, I guess, right? Yeah, this is basically the magic, I guess. And so what I was doing here is basically processing the event, but I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm basically going to say I'm going to do basically what I did with oh yeah, I'm going to do basically what I did with the events. I'm going to do that for the passive growth whatever's. I still need a name for what those are actually called. Yeah, specifically what I need is I need like init event or init growth equals 0. And so this way, this is basically going to be an enum, but I'm just going to use it as an integer instead. The enum is going to be when init growth equals 0, that means like nothing's happening. When init growth equals 1, that means it's time to do an automated growth opportunity. And when growth opportunity equals 2, that means we're going to want to do a GM initiated growth opportunity. And I guess it doesn't just have to be GMs. Like I can, oh yeah, I should. If I ever use my secret control panel, oh well, for one thing, it doesn't have enough. It's still missing. I added in a new event type, and I still haven't added a new button for the new event type. But then I'll also, I guess, want to add in something for myself for initiating growth opportunities. I mean, it could just be as simple as like parsing to say if the first line is Mary, then it's a growth opportunity. Yeah, probably. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, well, no, I'll probably just want to add in a new button for it or something. I should really figure out how to resize these buttons because they take up way too much space. They're like too close together, so they're easy to misclick, but they take up too much horizontal space. I'd rather they be like square. Who knows? Maybe I'll be able to figure that out at some point. If I ever feel like delving into tkinter. But what are the odds that I ever want to delve into tkinter? Marklander, hey, welcome. So I will now oh yeah, so right, so we have to add in right, yeah, okay. So I'll just add in like growth list index for when maybe I shouldn't like moosh these together. Maybe they're too different. Or maybe they're like more different than they are similar. Maybe it would just make more sense to handle them separately. Because like growth list index. No, this is probably fine. So like growth exp value equal. Also, these will start as 0, I guess, or whatever. They'll start as something, and then yeah. So I'll use growth list index to pass through the growth list index so that when it's an automated event, we can set up. We can do all that like text parsing that we've been doing, and then uh, I'm not a very TV smart guy. Not really. In terms of like how they work. Plus there's like a bunch of different kinds, right? Like LCD versus plasma. I'm just saying words. I don't know if those are the actuals. No wait. Is that? I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know much about TVs. Sorry. um all right, so the experience value, was there anything else that we need to pass through? Not really. Because we just I mean like the if we know the growth list index, we actually know the growth experience value, but for the automated system. But I think for the GM initiated events, the growth experience value is the only thing we actually really need to keep track of that we're not already keeping track of. Yeah. So let's say in this case, what happens is right. So we don't need this growth val. Whatever, we can just set growth experience value. Was that the name of our variable? I think. Right. And so then the only other thing that we have to do here is say init growth equals 2. And then I guess just so that it all happens in the same frame, I guess we'll actually want to do the growth initiation thing. Well, no, we can do it the usual place. Like we can do it right next to the event initiation, whatever, because huh. No, yeah, that should be fine. I think. Uh hmm. Yeah, that should be fine. It'll happen on the next frame. It'll happen on the very next frame, and I think that's probably satisfactory. Uh, uh, you can get partial credit after an event occurs if you participate even after the event ends, after the end of the event. So, for example, there are still some riches to obtain. uh, and I think that's actually literally true until the next event occurs. I think the way I set it up, it literally you have like 15 minutes to claim that, or like 10 minutes, or however long it takes. All right, so why do you not like this else? Oh, because there's nothing in the if case. Probably. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is now fine. I think. We'll see. I may have to come back and fix it later. But yeah, so the other thing I want to do now is the part where I was doing all that like fun stuff here. The this whole thing we can. Oh, wait. Oh no, the eligible list. Oh, the eligible list is picked out here. Oh. Ah. Alright, so no, maybe these are more dissimilar than similar. And maybe I shouldn't. Because I still have to pick the eligible list in that other case, whereas in this case I pick the eligible list up front. So no, they're probably more dissimilar than similar. Alright, I lied. Well, if I was gonna... No, wait, but should I still do it this way so that I can initiate passive events like this? Maybe? Probably, I guess. Because if I'm initiating the... like, the passive growth or whatever, the growth, the bonus, passive bonus, whatever it's called. Fanboy, hey, welcome. Excuse me. Yeah, no, Alright, so I guess I do want to set this up, but it'll still be separate. So I'll just say, if, not even just if GM active, just, yeah, whatever, it'll just be one more thing to check, I guess. So if, growth, no, if init, excuse me, growth equals 2, or is greater than 0, I guess. Basically, sorry. I really want there to be a way that they both are like the same, but they're just two different. They're just from two different worlds. So I will just have this part separate. All right. Init growth is greater than 0, then this is where we want to. So we have the growth value or whatever. It's gotten to be a pretty big project, huh? I've certainly been working on it for a while. I've been working on it as if it's a big project. So the growth experience value. What we have to do is basically like look through the player dictionary. So actually, yeah. So for p key in pdict. Yeah, I mean we're basically doing the same eligibility thing, just a pending eligible list. If so pdict keys. I don't know if that part's necessary per se, but I tend to put it in for no particular reason, or for a particular reason. I don't know. So we check if p key, or excuse me, if player dictionary. Oh, not pdict keys. Player dict keys. So if player dict index p key is greater than or equal to growth experience value, then oh yeah, so we need to set up our eligible list, I guess. Again, I can't spell eligible list. Eligible list equals an empty list for p key in player dict. Oh yeah, so the last thing we need to do, just so I don't forget, is init growth. Once we've done all this, we say init growth equals 0, because we don't want to do this like every frame. Thank you, Mark Lander. Yeah, they're coming along, right? We had a new character art yesterday. We oh gosh, I keep thinking weird things like maybe I should add a new background or something. I really shouldn't, but I keep thinking things like that to myself. So I could get in the habit of working on this project if I let myself. All right, so eligible list dot append p key. Maybe I can unify these things. Maybe I can. No, the only thing I'm really unifying is like this chunk right here. This is like the only shared part, and I don't know, whatever. I'm just gonna duplicate it because they're like, there's not enough like intersection for this really to be super worth it. Uh, I mean, maybe that'll change later. Maybe this will become way more complex, and eventually, the character that we made yesterday was so the new the new like adventurer that you could someday become is like a mystic sort of character. So like you get kind of, I still haven't done the familiar with it. So like right now you'd have the bird. The mouse actually wouldn't be there. But yeah, this is kind of like this is what we did. uh, so yeah, like for example, Lauren already has the hood. It'll be a little while before Lauren can get the whole regalia or the whole complete look. Um, uh, but it's in there now, so yeah. Thank you. Um, all right, so once we have our list of eligible p underscore key. Once we have our list of eligible players, we will want to now do this basically. Oh, the actual number of players. Yeah, we do want to do the. Okay, we do want to do the step, and we do want to do the actual number of players stuff. Wait, the step thing? Yeah, no, we do want to do that. Oh, 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 interesting. Yeah, how do we want to? We should probably just always do half, right? We don't have to. We don't have to evaluate this step. We should just always do half of all eligible players, or something like that, right? Maybe. Hold on, let me think about this. And that might be true universally. That might be true across the board. Uh, because we're using an average this time, so that could be a really high average. Like, it could be really high or it could be really low. Yeah. So it shouldn't literally be everyone eligible. Should it? No. No, no. I could just always do half. Or the alternative would be that I could compare the average to the maximum, which is kind of what I do in other cases, but not really. That's not really analogous. So I should probably just always do half. Always doing half sounds fine, I think. Because then it'll actually, yeah, if I always do half, then it'll make it really difficult for the GM to accidentally exhaust all the passive points. Like, I'll do half rounded up, and then it'll be like almost impossible. Not really. No, it could still be really feasible because they accrue relatively gradually. So, hmm, yeah, half is probably fine for now. All right, so I'll skip the step calculation, whatever. I'll just the plur. Yeah, I do want the plur thing. Oh, but I will want to change what the rest of like that stuff is. So I'll just do this for now. Copy this stuff. All right, we're knitting growth. We got our eligible list together. So now we just need to not have this so far indented. And so we're stepping by 2 because we're going to do half of the players. Just so we'll just randomly pick every other player on the eligible list. Yes. So their passive points are deducted not by growth list GI index 0, but by growth experience value. So right, in pretty much all cases, growth lists index GI index 0 will get replaced by growth experience value. And then what else? AQ. Yes, we append eligible list I. Player dictionary gain. Wait, what? Oops. This is supposed to say gain plus equals growth experience. but in Python, it's not an error to just leave that statement half formed, and so I never actually wrote it. So I think when these things have been happening, it's probably been saying like, oh, probably, oh my gosh, it's probably not been saying like who has been gaining experience from these things. It probably just hasn't been saying that at all. Has it been? I don't know. Maybe I should have tested that because I think it just literally hasn't been saying that at all. Probably. I can't imagine how it could have been saying that. So, whoops. Or it was either not saying it or it was everything still worked. Um, but like I kept like everyone would say like, oh, like it would say like, a pretty bird smiles at two adventurers, and everyone would be like, which adventurers, like who did it smile at? And I always kept saying, oh, it shows it in the game, but I think it actually wasn't showing it in the game. Or if it was saying it might have been showing it, and it might have just been saying +0 equals whatever to like imply that like no one, I don't know. No, I think it probably just wasn't. Well, I'm glad I came back to rewrite this part because otherwise I probably would never have noticed that. I would have kept assuring people, oh, it'll tell you, it'll tell you. And it just never told anyone. Cool. um, whoops. So yeah, I guess this is as fun a time as any to point out, if I tell you something is true and it's materially untrue, like if it's just plainly false, please feel free to let me know about that because please feel comfortable telling me that because sometimes it might just be that like I'm talking about a feature that I haven't implemented yet, but sometimes it means that I literally put in a bug and yeah, so it can be worth looking into sometimes. So, again, sorry. Uh, um, I can knock you back down if you wanted to, Lauren. I could just reset your data if you wanted to start at 0 and see if you can hit 1024 next time. Let me know. I'm just okay. Right. I think we're done, basically. No, we still need to say something because right now Trusty Bar doesn't like it. Now, if the GM tried to initiate one of these, it would work, but then the Trusty Bard would not like reply at all. So we want Trusty Bard to speak up and say, for example, indeed, something. So like yeah, I'll use like say quote. I'm pretty sure you get it back pretty quick, Lauren. But I don't know. Cyril has been pretty active in gaining experience, but uh, uh, all right. So say quote equals nothing for starters. No, so starts out as indeed, because this is the success case. I'll want to come up with something else in the failure case, but indeed, actually not exclamation point, just indeed. And I'll probably do the. Oh, actually, yeah, no. So I guess this will be somewhat similar, or I'll want to borrow a little bit more of like the logic that chooses the number string. So, yeah. So copy that. Put this here, I guess, except not as indented. Shift tab. So if actual num players is actual num players, yes. If actual num players is greater than the length of number strings, then that's when we say many. So say quote plus equals yes. Oh, except no, we can't like say lines is not. Oh yeah, so the part about say lines is not relevant anymore. So we can get rid of this whole conditional. All we just need is the like the two lower part. Because like this, unlike the other cases, like this sentence will always be formulated in the same manner. Um, all right. Oh yeah. So wait, let's look at the. So now that Trusty Bard said that, I'm just gonna look at the game because I haven't restarted the script. So like hypothetically, it's not going to say plus experience to anyone. Yep. Look, no, no one gained experience. All right, but once I restart the script, which I'll do probably once I get this up and running, I'll restart the script. But hey, 8 adventurers heard the epic tale, so it was it was probably most of you who heard it. Yeah, well, all right. I'm a jerk. Oh wait, Steeler says +3 equals 28. Oh, huh. That might have been left over from an event or something. Wait, no. What could cause that? I think his gain value was adjusted upwards, probably for a different reason though. I might want to. I might want to do a quick sanity check on how I'm using the gain value because I mean I had that one error and I don't use it very often, but so like it's initialized when the adventure is created, and then yeah, when do we increase gain? Gain A when we're joining the queue. Gain. Okay, well we used to get gain for the initiative bonus. I actually don't know how that would have happened. Because like I don't think there's specifically a way that a player should be able to gain, like add to their gain value without uh sounds like a wise purchase, Zero Maverick. um D&D dice and miniature stuff. The gain value, yeah, all right, so it's not like a huge deal I guess, but like why was it why did that one why did it I forget who it, like randomly for one person it just said their gain value, it said they had a gain value of 3. Hold on, let me check the well, so that event was worth 3, but as we checked, like that event shouldn't have been. Yeah, it must have just been left over from, or that growth, that passive growth bonus, whatever. Uh, shouldn't have added to gain. So it must have been left over from this event. And but why? Why was it left over? Why didn't it just happen quicker? It would imply that the player like had gained experience such that their experience should have been shown, but for whatever reason they didn't get added to the queue. Or maybe maybe I just don't have the name tags worked out well enough, and like people are like making it from one side of the screen to the other without ever showing their name tag. They are moving, like the name tags are moving a little slower than I meant for them to move as well, and I think they might be lingering a little too long. So I could just yeah, I think I'm just gonna kick that up a click. Or no, how should I handle that? Uh yeah. No, I'll just lower the. They won't move faster. They just won't move quite as high, I guess. Just slightly less high. I'll just bring that down slightly. And I won't worry about it because that's the most likely cause of what just happened. But I'll wait to see if it happens again. Because yeah, if this doesn't fix it, then it might be worth looking into something else. But yeah, no. So the name tag height right now it clicks up at a speed of 3 pixels, and it goes to a maximum of 55 pixels. So let's just bring this down to like. So if I decrease this by 6, it should take 2 clicks off of it. So so I'll just bring this down to like 49 instead. So that should make it so that the name tags are just slightly quicker, I guess, at cycling through. All right, so yeah, hopefully that's okay. And I haven't finished the say thing. I haven't finished what the bard says for these things. So say quote. All right, so we're adding in the number of we're adding in the number. So then the rest of the say quote is well, yeah, the rest of the say quote is simple. So we can say q dot append say quote, which will be indeed plus the indeed. Oh wait, actually, yeah, no. I guess wait, indeed comma or indeed comma, right? And so this actually should be always to lower. Okay. Yes, I had that backwards. Always to lower, not never to lower. Uh, all right, so say quote plus plur. Oh yeah, plur. Plur equals s. Oh right. Plur equals s if actual num players is equals 1, then plur equals nothing of the sort. So say quote plus space adventurer plus plur plus oh wait. One adventurer is so lucky. Three adventurers are so lucky. So actually, plur shouldn't just be s. Plur should be r. Were should be past tense or present tense. Let me think. Some adventurers climbed a tree. Indeed, 2 adventurers were so lucky. Some adventurers learned how to tie a knot. Indeed, 3 adventurers were so lucky. So fortunate. We're so fortunate. Fortunate doesn't even really describe it. Because, like, learning how to tie a knot, like, that's not fortunate. That's, like, talented. Unicomics, hey, welcome. How's it going? All right, so yeah, 2 things. I need better phrasing, and I need to conjugate like part of the sentence in this in plur. So like is are or were was are probably like I mean it could be anything really. So what do I want the sentence to be? So like the GM says some adventurers do a good thing or like learn a thing or like this is just something fortuitous happens to them. I guess I want to keep this fairly open-ended, like as open-ended as possible, kind of. Just because like I want growth opportunities to be like anything really. Like if the GM is feeling weird, like the growth opportunity could be like the players like imagine a new type of frog. I don't know. So um so I could literally say like 3 adventurers have grown from this fortuitous from this one on this glorious occasion. um uh um yeah. I'm I'm not a fast writer. I I don't like. I kind of enjoy writing. I just don't like when I sit down to write. I don't come up with a lot. I just come up with like a little bit that I like, which I feel I tend to get awkward doing this on stream because um like I basically just like roll things around in my mind until I come up with something that I like. Maybe this is like art. Maybe this is like one of those things where like when I first started doing art on stream, like I had nothing to say. I was just like I would like basically just fall silent. Um, so maybe I just need to like develop this as well. Uh, thank you, Mike Lander. Um, the so yeah, so I should be jotting stuff down so that it at least stays like in my brain space. Um, so for example, right, so uh, actually I'm gonna open up the passive events that we have so far, just as like because those are like kind of the examples of like what these can say so far, and so whatever I come up with, it should be suitable with at least all of those. So growth 2. So finds a lucky clover. So each find a lucky clover. Pretty bird smiles at. Um, so like indeed, uh, 3 adventurers finds a lucky clover. It's like are so fortunate for it to be their birthday. Got better at swimming. Are so fortunate. No. Yeah, no. I very intentionally made it so that some of these things were like good things that happen to you, and some of these are good things that you do. So, I guess that's like the biggest split. Uh, um, so what do you generically say? Because like yeah, I don't want it to. So like if something good happens to you, like it sounds silly if to attribute that to you. But if you do something good, it would sound rude not to attribute it to you, because you know you deserve credit for it. I mean, I guess like the more egregious case is to like slight someone's effort. So like if someone does something good, well, I was gonna say like maybe I should just always attribute it to the player, because it would be I was thinking it would be more rude not to like to fault in the other direction. But it would also be a bit cloying to like if someone it's like a pretty so if it's like a pretty bird smiles at some adventurers. Indeed, 3 adventurers are really good at getting a pretty bird to smile at them, and like they're getting experience for it. So like that would be a little not great. So it just has to be ambiguous as to whether as to whether it was like the player who incurred it specifically, such that it's not rude when the player hypothetically did like earn it themselves. Uh, thank you, thank you, Mark. Oh, hey, Encrypted Cow, welcome. Sorry, I zoned out of chat for a second there, but yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I like having you here. So, um, all right. So, indeed, 3 adventures. I mean, I kind of want to go back to the like the luck thing, like or the fates. Oh wait, what did I say? When you get a good dice roll, I say like when you get a really good dice roll, I say what? I say uh like the fates smile or something like that. Where is it? It's down here. The fates smile today. So I could do something dumb like that. Just say like the fates smile on 3 adventures or something like that. Uh, uh, although, then I'd probably want to change this. Well, actually, I mean that's only for like a perfect roll. Uh, uh, or I could just like say something generic like good fortune. Fortune again though, it like it's just slightly slighting to like if someone is really good at what they do, like they deserve credit for it. Like if you say like if someone's like, look at this wonderful thing that I made, and you say how fortunate of you, like that's kind of impolite, I guess. And I just really don't want Trusty Bard to be impolite. If anything, I want him to be too polite. Because that amuses me. um, so I think I do have to like. I don't mind if I don't mind if Trusty Bard sounds like too superstitious. That's it's like his belief in the fates, I think, is like I guess I'll probably just lean on that pretty heavily. Trusty Bard seems to believe in the fates, and so hmm. That's a bit abstract though. It's like if it was like indeed the fates, three adventures, uh, like I don't know, like the fate. So like I'll just use the other one for simplicity. So like the fates smile on three adventures. Uh, that's like I don't know. I I would have wanted that's like that doesn't really address like what is happening, and I guess I kind of ended up there because I was uh, like when trying to directly address what was happening there. The you know I was running into that conflict of like causality or causation. So um, yeah, I think a lot about Trusty Bard. Just Trusty Bard's important to me. Specifically, like the content of Trusty Bard's character is important to me. It's important to me that if I'm making a game and I'm giving it a voice as Trusty Bard, like I want to make sure that that voice is a suitable, uh, like he's Trusty Bard. Like he has to be trusty. Like if I fail to make him trusty, that was my failing. So oh, the problem with my code yesterday, I think it was because I was doing integer division. Yeah. um, so for example, right. So the script like I was plugging in numbers, and the script was telling me that that what like it was like some number times it was like so it was like what was it? I think the example was like 7 times 3 divided by 12. Or no. So yeah, 3 divided by 12. The square root of 3 divided by 12 times 7 uh, was 0. That's what it was telling me. And that's because I think 3 divided by 12 as integer division was 0. And so the square root of 0 of that was 0. And so that times 7 was 0. I think is what was happening there. At least it seems to be better now. Uh, um, so yeah, sorry for cutting out so suddenly, creative 69er. I don't usually do that. I usually try and resolve the streams a little bit better. But I was frustrated, and I had wanted to have ended already by that point, and then so the fact that the stream cut out, I was like, whatever. If I'd started it back up again, I only would have put it up for like a few minutes just to say goodbye, and that didn't seem. Yeah, I was really ready. But yeah, today I'm writing I'm I'm writing lines for Trusty Bard. So the Fate Smile and Three Adventures, like I'll call that like Plan C, because like I'm not enthusiastic about it, but maybe I'll go with that. Um, I so climbed really high in a tree. Uh, I was thinking like Trusty Bard could say something like, "Indeed, how wonderful for those three adventures." But again, that's like That's gonna sound really sarcastic in some cases. So I don't want Trusty Bard to sound like he's a jerk, a sarcastic jerk. um, Learns to play a song. Maybe I shouldn't just make this a sentence. Maybe Trusty Bard should just say uh, should just like I don't know. I don't want Trusty Bard to use sentence fragments because like I don't want Trusty Bard to so overtly betray the scripted nature of his dialogue or the fact that like this is like a computer interaction. Like it's a computer interaction, but like computers can use full sentences if they're instructed as such. So I just rather use full sentence. um, I don't know. This really isn't that important. I probably should have just like chosen something by now, but I don't know. So oh yeah, looks really sharp today. Looks sharp today. I'm actually just gonna cut this one out for now. Actually no, I'm gonna change it to one adventure is having a great hair day. No, I'm either gonna cut it out or change it to that. No, I'm just gonna cut it out for now. I do want to write more of these, so I shouldn't actually be just leading them. I should actually, if anything, I should be writing more of them. But all right. So yeah, I should just get through. Thanks, Mark Lander. I don't actually take suggestions, but I appreciate your humor. Um, uh, oh yeah, that's the other thing. If I'm writing a lot today, I'm gonna be like actually the reason that the reason I named the stream Rhetorical Quests today is because I plan on writing quests, and in doing so, I'm going to be asking myself so many rhetorical questions. I'm gonna like be pounding my head like against a wall, basically, like this. Oh, yeah, this wall here, and then I'll pound it against my desktop background, and I yeah, so it's gonna be funny because I probably zone out of chat a little bit because I don't take suggestions, and it makes chat really. It's just a little awkward because like I'm literally standing here saying things that sound like questions and then not listening to chat. So that'll be fun. We have that to look forward to this afternoon. um, so the Fates smile on 3 adventures. Learn how to tie a new type of knot. Sorry, what if it was just each of these? Each finds a lucky clover. Like, oh, yeah, 3 adventures were so lucky. You know, Pretty Bird smiles at Trusty Bird. Say, like, how good for so and so. It's like I'll just jot these down. So like, so lucky. How nice for new type of knot. Good job. So and so. Happy birthday. Hooray. Hooray, you. Make a new friend. How nice, or whatever. Get better at swimming. Good job. So, like, these are basically the sentiments that we're supposed to, that I'm trying to, like, express generically. So lucky. Which I guess is why it's awkward, because like, if someone did a good, or if someone like, or if something was nice and you say good job, like, those are just like slightly incompatible statements, because like either way you spin it, it sounds either sarcastic or rude. So I guess that's like the crux. So yeah, maybe the fates are my best. Maybe it is literally my best option. Uh, um, I mean, I could go stupid. I could go like intentionally stupid, I guess is my other option. I could say, indeed, uh, three adventurers have grown from this experience. It's a little bit on the nose, and it's a little bit intentionally stupid. um, uh, maybe that's fine. It's at least making me laugh, so maybe this is fine. Because it literally references experience. It uses the word growth, or it references like growth, which is the stupid thing that I wish I had a better word for when referring to these things. And it addresses the thing. Like, so like for example, so some adventurers find a lucky clover. Indeed, three adventurers have grown from this experience. A pretty bird's fun. Yeah, I think I see this one. Uh, yeah. So just to be clear, I'm not doing this because I actually like legit like it. I'm doing it because it's like so dumb, just so dumb and wrong. So the singular version would be one adventure has grown from this experience. All right, so so adventurers have, or just singular adventure has, and then and then so that the rest of the string is grown from this experience. Sure. uh yeah. Ta-da. um I could go even further over the top if I felt like it. Uh I could like add an adjective from this like no, I'll leave it at that. If I start throwing in adjectives, it'll get more specific and delightful. I mean, I'd be using an adjective like delightful or like a synonym for delightful. um, no, that I don't. No, I probably should. What's a good synonym for delightful? Because if you're gonna go like go big or go home, right? If you're gonna go like that in that direction, you might as well go all the way with it. Uh, so, uh, lovely, pleasant, um, thrilling, thrilling. It is pretty thrilling for a bird to. Again, I don't actually take suggestions, so I'm just. Usually I rinse chat. I don't want to be rude though. I just. Uh, I. Sorry. I'm just gonna rinse chat because I like I really I'm really not trying to be rude. Uh I just can't, and it's I like I can't that line I can't I can't blur that line either. It has to be it's an important thing, and so I can't go halfway with it. So I apologize if I rinse your chat. It's not because I don't appreciate it. It's because I literally can't. um, but I do appreciate the thought and like the I do appreciate that people are doing something that like in other contexts it would probably be really helpful or like positive, but in this context it just can't be any of those things, and so uh, thank you for your understanding. Uh, okay, so uh, what was it doing? Oh, something delightful. Uh, yeah, so like maybe literally just delightful. Uh, yeah, it's like you don't have to apologize, fanboy. But I again, yeah, I mean, thank you for what I assume is like good intentions. So I do